Starting today, all cargo leaving China and heading for the U.S. will now carry a 30% tariff, which is a steep drop from that 145% tariffs that were in place for the past 6 weeks.
The tariff slowdown has begun. Bookings of container shipments from China to the U.S. are down nearly 50% compared to a year ago, according to shipment tracker Vision. In tonight's In-Depth, CBS's Carter Evans goes to the country's busiest port.
Port authorities are bracing for a major impact. According to Port of Seattle Commissioner Ryan Culkins, there could be a 40% drop in vessels in container traffic the next few weeks.
As tariffs on foreign imports begin to take effect, there has been rumors circulating online that ports have been seeing fewer cargo vessels, and the Port of Seattle is turning into a ghost town. Jessica Janner with our Verified team explains if there's any truth to those claims.
Well, Donald Trump just called empty U.S. ports a good thing.
To what we are seeing in the United States. This is the Port of Los Angeles. Again, this is in real time. You can go look on Vessel Tracker right now. Everything that's a cargo ship is docked and nothing is coming in and out.
Still buzzing with activity for now, the busiest port in the Western Hemisphere is bracing for a dramatic slowdown, according to Gene Soroka, Executive Director of the Port of LA.
The Northwest Seaport Alliance says it's expecting 15 more cargo ships over the next week between the Port of Seattle and Port of Tacoma, with 12 of those ships containing goods from China.
It started off small, just a few delays here and there, a couple of missing containers, some ships arriving a little late, nothing too alarming. But now it's something else entirely. A wave of silence has hit every major port in the U.S. From Los Angeles to New Jersey, Savannah to Seattle, everything is slowing down, fast. Thousands of containers are just sitting there, stuck. Truckers are losing work, retailers are scrambling, and what some experts are calling the worst shipping crisis since the pandemic? Yeah, it's happening right now. Before we unpack what's really going on, take a second to hit that like button. It helps more people find this video and supports the channel. Let's get into it.
This isn't just a slowdown anymore. It's a full-blown collapse, and it's getting worse by the day. The Port of Los Angeles is reporting a jaw-dropping 35% drop in incoming cargo. Long Beach isn't far behind. Some ships aren't even bothering to stop. Importers are canceling orders. Terminal workers are watching as docks fill up with untouched containers. There were supposed to be around 400,000 containers arriving this month, but they're not showing up. Voyages are being canceled. Routes are being rerouted. Cargo is going missing. And it's all tied back to President Trump's sweeping tariff hikes and the global panic they've sparked. Gene Soroka, the executive director of the Port of Los Angeles, put it plainly, trade with China has basically stopped. This kind of disruption? We've never seen anything like it. At first, everyone thought this was just a supply chain issue. But now, it's a demand collapse. No one wants to ship goods into chaos, and definitely no one wants to pay a 145% tariff just to reach a market that might not even be buying. So, ships are avoiding U.S. ports altogether, and the few containers that do make it, they're stuck. Chassis are in the wrong places, rail yards are jammed, empty containers are piling up, and truckers, they're getting crushed. Before we keep going, make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated and support the channel. There's a lot more to unpack here. Truckers across the country, from the ports of Southern California to the Southeast, are staring down a total collapse in freight. Independent drivers are stuck with contracts they can't fulfill. Some are barely moving 10 containers a week, down from 50. Rates have dropped so low many can't even cover their costs. One dispatcher called it a freight famine, and that's exactly what it feels like. Nav Gill, a fleet owner out of Northern California, said his business is hauling 60% less than just 2 months ago. His drivers are scared, and honestly, they're not the only ones. Smaller paychecks, bigger bills. This squeeze is hitting hard. But this isn't just a trucking problem anymore. The mess is spilling far beyond the highways. Logistics hubs in Dallas, Chicago, and Kansas City, places where cargo should be moving in and out like clockwork, are buckling under the pressure. Some look like ghost towns. Others are jammed with nowhere to put anything. Rail cars packed with goods are stuck in a massive bottleneck. Containers are piling up at rail yards with no one to pick them up. In Kansas City alone, more than 2,000 containers have been stranded for over a week. And it's not just generic freight. Inside are time-sensitive shipments, medical supplies, fresh produce, back-to-school electronics. Retailers are panicking. Big names like Walmart, Target, and Home Depot stocked up early. But those inventories were only meant to last through the spring. Now, with imports slowing to a trickle, things could dry up completely. The National Retail Federation has already slashed import forecasts by at least 20%. And categories like clothing and toys? They're expected to take an even bigger hit. That means emptier shelves and higher prices for everyday shoppers. But this isn't just about missing products. Costs are ballooning. Import duties, storage fees, delay penalties, they're all stacking up, and they're crushing businesses from every direction. And yet, there's still no clear response because no one can agree on who's actually to blame. Trump points the finger at China. China points right back. Democrats say the tariffs are wrecking the economy. Republicans argue it's overregulation. While the blame game plays out in Washington, the ports continue to buckle under pressure. Far from the coast, the fallout is just as severe. In major hubs like Chicago and Atlanta, warehouses are sitting empty. Not because there's too much demand, but because there's nothing left to store, ship, or sell. The silence in those cavernous spaces isn't just eerie, it's expensive, and the chaos has opened the door to something worse: crime. With containers piling up and security stretched thin, freight yards have become easy targets. Organized theft rings are making their move, stealing high-value goods, electronics, cosmetics, anything they can flip quickly. In cities like Los Angeles and New Jersey, container theft has jumped by 40%. Some businesses have resorted to hiring private security. Others, they're giving up. Just as things seem at their most uncertain, a curveball hits. The US and China announce a partial trade truce, a 90-day pause on tariff hikes. On paper, it looks like relief. But in practice, it feels more like a delay than a solution. A breather, one freight broker in Newark said. It's more like holding our breath. Because behind that pause ticks a clock, one that's counting down to what could be another round of chaos.
President says he is authorizing a 90-day pause and substantially lowering the reciprocal tariff during this period of 10% effective immediately.
Importers are scrambling, rushing to flood U.S. ports with cargo before the tariff pause runs out. Terminals that were nearly empty just days ago are now bracing for a surge. Port officials are calling it a whiplash event. Logistics managers have a different word: nightmare. The reason? The ports aren't ready. Staffing is stretched thin. Equipment is scattered. Truck drivers are running low on cash and capacity. If hundreds of ships arrive at once, the system could jam up fast and spiral into a full-blown shipping crisis. And this isn't hypothetical. It's already happening. Freight forwarders are racing to reserve port space. Chinese exporters are loading vessels by the hour. Industry reports warn that as many as 1,000 ships could hit North American ports over the next 6 weeks. The largest import surge since the height of the pandemic. If the ports buckle, the consequences won't stop at a few missed deliveries. We're talking about bare shelves, rising layoffs, soaring inflation, regional trucking firms collapsing, credit defaults climbing, and consumer confidence plunging. The dominoes are lined up and tipping. What makes it worse is that this is all preventable. But only if the government takes action. Restructure the tariffs, expand port capacity, and shape trade policy around economic reality instead of political gamesmanship. So far, though, that's not what's happening. Instead, containers are stacking up, trucks are sitting idle, shelves are starting to go empty, and the country is stuck in limbo. Those 10,000 containers? They're not just numbers. Each one carries something vital: a paycheck, hospital supplies, materials for a construction site, a shipment that keeps a promise. When those boxes stall, everything they support begins to unravel. This is the true cost of trade chaos. If it continues unchecked, we're not just heading toward economic pain. We're heading straight for a reckoning. If you found this content helpful or eye-opening, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Got thoughts or questions? Drop them in the comments. We read everyone. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.